It is Saturday. It is, in the words of Karen Joseph, the day TNA became global. Said no one. I am Sean Stanley. He is Mr. AEW Frankie Fresco, and we are here. It is labeled the AEW Collision Preview Show, but hey, we just want to talk some wrestling. So we're talking a little bit of everything. Two at a time. We will definitely get a little bit of the talk in about the bloodline. But EWD Jr. already in, Chad's in, Dean Antonelli is in. He said Tua say he's switching to baseball. Let's hope that's not true. Daniel Barry Sports Highlights, what's up? Of course, Tua time in, Steven Gonzalez in as well. Duke Tomlinson says, yo. Frankie, how you doing, sir?
Man, I am here. I am a little bit under the weather. I'm rocking the glasses today. I never, this is the first time I'm rocking the glasses. It's a special night. It has to be for AEW, right? Plus, also, it's raining really bad where I'm at right now. So if I lose connection, my apologies, guys. Let me know if my sound sounds good too.
No, you sound good, man. You sound a little low, but we know you're under the weather, so you're not the chipper self. I was expecting AEW Collision. Let's go. Let's go. I thought you were gonna be like Karen Joseph there.
It's been a rough.
Mountain Dew.
It's been rough the last like 3 or 4 days. I've been under the weather really, really bad. And then this morning I was feeling really sick. And then you know what? I told Sean, I was like, yo, let's do a show. I don't care. I'm still dedicated. I'm so excited of AEW's Collision. So I was like, screw it. We're gonna do it.
And we're going to jump into AEW Collision. Let's talk a little bit about this. It is raining cats and dogs, Key Mahi Carlos says, in Pensacola. Apparently that storm's down here in Miami as well, because it's been raining cats, dogs, frogs, and everything else down here. And now I found out one of the dogs that I adopted is scared of thunder. Like rain, she's been fine, and then the thunder, thunder and lightning the last couple of days. Boy, woo! Nothing like having a 50-pound dog up and all on you. But anyways, let's talk AEW Collision. Tonight, 8 p.m., you get no better lead-in than Avengers Age of Ultron leading into your biggest global making show, Karen Joseph says. Age of Ultron, baby. They're pulling out all the stops they are.
It's a great movie.
It is. It is. So I'm watching it right now, actually. So CM Punk will speak, apparently. So I'm going to believe he's going to start the show talking, which I think everybody probably assumed that, probably anyways, even if for whatever reason it would be the right thing to do, right? I mean, the guy's been away from everything. I mean, the ESPN article comes out, and apparently what was sent out was not as bad as what everybody else thought was going to be sent out. But what I found funny was a lot of people on Twitter were like, oh, those comments aren't that bad. Not everything made the piece. Remember, AEW had people there during the interview. They know what was said. They know what actually made it into the piece. So, again, what I think Mark Raimondi, right? Raimondi, was that who did it?
Yeah.
I think he, again, probably understood the situation and was like, all right, let's make this happen and make it look kind of okay here.
PG-13.
Yeah, because again, it's I found one thing interesting, and I know we'll get into the Collision, but one thing out of the interview that I really found interesting and odd was the fact that he went to apologize and he got letters back from the lawyers not to talk to anybody.
Yeah.
But there was never a lawsuit gone out anymore, right? Once everything settled down, I thought that went away. There was at the beginning, there was a talk of a lawsuit being filed.
Yeah.
And I thought that went away once everything kind of cleared out. But maybe I'm wrong, because it just makes no sense for lawyers to say, don't reach out and don't talk to them unless there's like a suit going on.
I don't know why they did that. Personally, I feel that, hey, man, CM Punk actually went to apologize to them? Wow. Maybe CM Punk is not such an a-hole as we all think, right?
I think it's more along the lines of, look, dude, the one thing about CM Punk is he gets the business, and nothing is going to be better business than for CM Punk to take on the Elite.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, told you that is going to be the money maker. And look, if Adam Page is the first one, I mean, if you start going through them, one at a time, and then all of a sudden you have to, make a team or something and stuff like that, then we see how it goes. But I mean, again, it was just odd. And then everything else was just kind of, I don't know, not fluff, because again, it's first time people are hearing from CM Punk. And that's another thing that Punk does good. He protects himself. He's not everywhere. He sends out some, cryptic tweets, cryptic Instagram posts, and everything's kind of like, you read between the lines. He doesn't say one way or the other. He lets you decide how you want to read it, and then it goes from there. It's one of those things, and it's going to be interesting to see what is said here. And again, to me, the best business is when it blurs the line. Like, ooh, I know he wasn't supposed to say that, but then, and things like that. Just like when he dropped the pipe bombs on WWE, that's when things got very interesting on WWE TV. John Cena and all those things that he did from there. It was kind of like, okay, let's see what he says this week. And it's going to be interesting because, again, I think this Collision is probably going to do better than Dynamite does. Question's going to be what happens after that. Because remember, the first 2 or 3 Dynamites that Punk appeared on, they were 1-3, 1-5, 1-3. Yep. Then the bottom fell out and it went back down to 1 million. And then they stayed consistently at 1 until Punk left. And then they started dropping down to where they are today.
Well, remember, CM Punk has to make this show relevant. So you're right. I have no doubt that this show is going to hit at least the first couple of episodes. But then what are they going to do? What are they going to do to keep it up? Because they need to keep this show going. They have an opportunity here to make both this show and Dynamite very strong. If there's some way somehow they're able to maintain the ratings really well, it's a home run for them, and it starts putting a little bit more of a pressure, I think, in WWE, because the WWE is like, okay, now this. I know you're shaking your head, but remember, WWE, we spoke about this, that they wanted to do NXT their own separate, and they wanted to grow NXT. So this kind of takes a little jab at that as well. So we need to make sure,
because again, NXT is going to be on Tuesday nights. That's the thing. I don't know that a show now can succeed at 8:00 on Saturday night consistently.
Well, today there's nothing. There's nothing going on. So
today there's a lot going on. Other things. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, on TV, there's nothing going against it.
Yep.
But you've got, it's Father's Day weekend. It's I'm just saying there's life and shows on Saturday. The reason the one was at 6:00, Ted Turner put it at 6:00 to be a lead-in for the Braves.
Mm-hmm.
So if the Braves played at 7:05, the wrestling was 6 to 7. If they played at 7:30, it was 6 to 7:30. If it was at 8:00, it was 6 to 8. Then when the season was off, they were 6 to 8. You know what I'm saying? So it's always more of a lead-in to get more eyes on his team, the Atlanta Braves. He used the wrestling to get more eyes on the Braves, is what he was doing. It's going to be interesting to see how this works. And again, nothing going on this weekend. But again, I want to see where the life aspect of this. People don't watch TV like they used to. No. You understand that there's streaming services, there's everything else. It's not just the finals are all done now. It's just baseball and USFL. So it's going to be interesting to see how.
Yeah, you got baseball going on right now. I think the Marlins won as well. So shout out to the Marlins. And but baseball, ratings have been trending kind of down for the last couple of years. Although I heard that they're doing better because they speed up the game. So, but they picked a good date. They picked up a Saturday as nothing's going on.
Both of the finals ended the way they ended.
Yeah.
So that there was no, I guess it would have been like a game 6 or a game 7, depending on
that would have hurt them.
What it was that could have been like, I bet you they were happy. Tua Time says, I think tonight's show probably gets around a 600 rating tonight.
Oh, come on, Tua Time. Come on.
I mean, I think it's going to be a higher one, but after I started, I think I've talked myself out of that now. Because I just think the life part of it, dude, I don't know, man. Saturday at 8:00 seems like a prime time slot to where.
Yep, it is prime time.
Anyone have a site where I can watch AEW Collision? No, if you got Hulu or somebody's got Hulu Live, you could probably watch it from there on TNT. Dynamite got 8:30 this week, this week. Yeah.
And Dynamite was strong this week.
Yeah, I don't understand what I'm telling you. There's a disconnect there with the casual wrestling fan. They get their 8:30 to 8:50, 8:70 consistently. They haven't gone up. They can't get that.
You want to know why though? I have to admit, I think the reason that they don't get that many viewers is because they don't cater to kids, man. And that's a gold mine. That's what WWE focuses so much.
That's what they went to, and everybody got mad at them. But as a business wise, you almost have to, man, because again, the one thing that kids do is they bring their mom, their dad usually. So now you got two parents there. That's 2 adult tickets, and then they got brothers and sisters, family of 5 buying tickets.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting. Although I will say this, I think they're doing a better job with this Forbidden Door of getting some of the guys out there that people don't know about.
You see? Yes.
I still wish they would do more packages because, again, if you didn't watch Friday night.
Never satisfied.
No. But if you don't watch Friday Rampage, you know what I'm saying? You didn't see Ospreay wrestle. So Ospreay came in and knocked the crap out of Kenny Omega. And then I got to watch Rampage or hear the results of Rampage to find out he wrestled on there. Again, if I don't watch Rampage, I still haven't seen Ospreay. You know what I'm saying?
Unless you saw their fight on YouTube. If you guys haven't seen the original Kenny Omega fight.
Again, you're casual. I'm not talking about us 10 a.m.ers. You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking to us 10 a.m.ers. You know what I'm saying?
We tuned in. I saw it on YouTube. I was like, yo, I gotta watch this fight. And I started watching it. I was like, yo, this is a great fight.
I mean, it's one of those things, but it just doesn't go to the casual fan. Let's go, because we could go on this all day. So let's jump into some of the things you will see tonight on Collision.
Yep.
Andrade El Idolo is back, baby. The land of misfit toys, AEW Collision. You get all the misfits here, baby. Buddy Matthews.
It's Andrade.
It's everybody that can't look, man. Everybody that can't get along with somebody is on this show.
That's what we want. We want stirring it up. We love the beef. We love the hype.
Collision is because it's going to be a head-on collision in the locker room between egos.
And I wore my Road Ranger shirt from back.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
And then Miro's right there. There's Miro. Miro's still there.
Miro will be in action tonight, so I'm guessing it's going to probably be a squash match. They'll probably have somebody.
Yeah, because they didn't announce him an opponent. So yeah.
Yeah, that is funny. To a time just said Rhea versus Charlotte, Buddy versus Andrade. Sky Blue and Willow Nightingale will take on Tony Storm and Ruby Soho. I'm wondering, because if you haven't seen the AEW Collision intro, go find it. It's probably anywhere. AEW's probably sent it out again a couple times. I think Sky Blue and Willow Nightingale might be part of the women's division on this channel, on this show.
Yo, shout out to my boy Elton John. Yes, with the song.
Yes, Elton is all elite apparently.
Yeah, see, another one joins the dark side.
Oh no, another one is DJ Khaled, right?
Oh my god,
Khaled.
DJ Khaled. But
whatever.
You're absolutely right. It does look like Willow and Sky Blue are getting pushed, and I like it. I like it, man. I think what happened with Willow is that she blew up after the Mercedes Moné fight, and they realized it, and fans are building up on it. Just like remember when
she had her following in AEW, and then that I think elevated what Mercedes did for her, knowing she was injured, and said, "Hey, beat me and take the title," helped get her over that little hump that she was trying to get over. And now it's clicked more with other fans too, because now, again, she looks like, you know, she's strong style. New Japan, strong style, baby.
And they're doing a great job with Sky Blue out of the blue.
She didn't like the thing with her mom though, or whatever that was.
Why not? That was cool.
What do you mean? They spray painted her mom in the face.
The AEW, they always do those casual.
You just don't do that, man. Like
spray it in her face, and she takes it like a champ.
Yeah, and Sky Blue did nothing about it.
She'll do something about it tonight.
Oh, okay, all right.
Sky Blue is great. I like her, man.
I love the whole thing. I just thought it was odd to spray paint someone in her face And then she just really, I don't even think she went over and checked on her.
I don't
She
remember.
punched both of them outside the ring and then rolled the one back in the ring and kept wrestling. Never checked on her mom who got spray painted in the eyeballs.
This is what they should do. They should go again because today, obviously, Soho's in the fight. So they should mess with her mom again. And then hopefully her mom is on the first row. But if her mom is there, then she gets back and says, okay, this time I ain't letting you touch my mama.
Yeah, and then Sky Blue pulled out the blue spray paint, but apparently it wasn't good enough because when they showed a close-up of Toni Storm's face, it all washed off.
Yeah.
Like she sprayed it on her. I was like, wait a minute, I thought she got sprayed in the eyeball.
Yeah, they had a little bit of hiccups because you saw also that their mic on Wednesday Night Dynamite kind of
that was just
and it lasted throughout the whole show. I was like, oh, come on, I hope they don't do that.
What the hell you say?
I hope they don't do this. I hope they don't mess up. Audio production with AEW, man. Don't mess up tonight, man. It's a big show.
I don't know if they have their own in-house or what they do, but it was rough. It was bad. It was rough.
That was rough. For a company.
And then also, question for you, because you're Mr. AEW, the no that popped up on the screen. Do you know what the hell that was? Was that a mistake? Was that trying to prelude to somebody coming?
I have no idea.
I was like, no. The word no, just like real light black letters across the screen. I was like, so I'm interested. Maybe they'll show that tonight. If they show it tonight, then we know it's something going on.
And did you see? And again, I don't know why, but on Wednesday, even though it was a really good show, they were having a lot of hiccups with a lot of stuff, even in ring. Like, did you see when it was trending on Twitter when Moxley was talking to the Young Bucks on the side, like, you know, you're supposed to be going up against them, and he just runs next to them. And he's talking to him, saying like, "What's up?" Like telling him, I guess, what's the next move they were gonna do or whatnot.
Every once in a while, you forget and stuff, but usually you just start pounding on somebody, take them down like you're punching them, and then be like, "What we got to do?" Okay. Yeah. You don't just sit there and go, "Hey, what are we doing?"
That's exactly what he did. He literally went to them like that.
Another problem I think that AEW has is it's odd. They miss so much, and then like it's like, oh, keep the camera right there, and then they switch. It's like, and I think that's why like WWE, I used to hate when they do this 10 million when they're punching.
Oh, I hate that crap.
But what it does is switching between the two cameras that are right there, getting the same angle. So it's just all you see is like the thing like that, but you don't see.
But they got away from that like
they got away from it a little bit, but they still do that. The reason they do that is because you can't see the mess ups as bad. Like that one time when the whole thing that went viral with Dustin when he was, I think, punching or somebody was punching Dustin and they were actually punching the mat and missing Dustin. And because it was right there on the hard camera, it looked terrible.
On Dynamite, they had
and
one
I just
as well.
wonder if they have a production meeting to know, okay, this is what we're going to do.
They
because
really need to get that together.
Seems odd that sometimes they'll switch to a terrible shot. It's like, why would you switch to that? Keep it on the hard camera, if anything.
They need to fix that.
Again, this is not an AEW bashing, so let's get back on track. It is a night that AEW goes global.
Global, baby.
Compared, says Karen Joseph.
We are making it happen.
So we got that. Miro being action. We said Wardlow against Luchasaurus. The TNT title being defended on TNT. How about them apples?
Well, remember, this was supposed to be the first fight before they switched it up and put Christian Cage versus Wardlow. So
there's going to be no Arn Anderson. They beat him up. Good. Left him bloodied in the hallway.
I did see that. Yes, they did. Poor Arn Anderson. How dare he?
Why they beat up the old guy, man? I mean, I don't
gotta beat him up, man. He's old, man. That's why you gotta beat him up.
Oh, watch. Arn's going to come out and cap somebody.
Watch out. I might go one of these days. I might go to Hialeah Park and go beat up on Big O and then just walk out. Big O will beat me up before I beat him up. You know that.
Oh, we'll go after you.
Oh, man.
I'm wondering how this match goes. And again, Wardlow keeps the title, of course. But what do they do with Luchasaurus? You've got to make him look big, right?
You have to, man.
And the other thing is, look, this is a 2-hour show. And right now they've got 1, 2. Buddy Matthews, Andrade could probably go a little bit. CM Punk could probably talk a while. You only got 3 matches that are going to take up a lot of time. Because I got to think Miro's probably in a squash. Sky Blue, Willow against Toni Storm and Ruby probably won't get a lot of time. And I would think with the two big guys, Wardlow and Luchasaurus, they're probably not. I mean, again, I don't know how much time they're going to give that 6-man. There's probably other matches. The Acclaimed also has been. I'm sorry, the Acclaimed has been said to be on.
Yeah, they're going to be
the
on there.
show as well. So we'll see what they do there. But I mean, usually a Dynamite's got 10 matches almost.
And you know what? It was the Hardy Boys were on Rampage, I believe, were calling out the Acclaim. So there might be a possibility the Hardy Boys
Hardy
might
Boys
show out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're going to host the Guns on Wednesday.
So on Friday, yesterday on Rampage, the Hardy Boys were talking smack about the Acclaim. So I wouldn't be surprised if maybe the Hardy Boys show up.
They didn't really talk smack, did they?
Yeah, they were talking about how like
He said the guns. Your dad, all he does is run around and scissor people, and we're gonna do something that he should have done, a long time ago. And what did he say? Make you famous.
Yeah,
the famouser. So I don't know. I mean,
it makes sense. I would bring him out. Would you put that fight right now though? You have to. It's the first show.
I mean, if not, you set it up for next week, so there's at least a good top tier match for next week.
That's a good point.
You've got to start. You've got to start kind of
building up.
I'm seeing it. Let's see. Two at times said like MJF this week biting the blood capsule and putting it on the apron. Yeah,
that was so terrible. See all
should have dropped it inside. I think he probably thought he put it further under than what he did, and it just it's one of those things.
Production.
But that's also on the camera. It's on the camera more than the camera crew. I mean, as far as not the camera crew, but the director, because the director can see what cameras are there. I mean, it's almost like
Tony.
It's almost like no. Usually, there's somebody in the truck.
You sure? Because remember in the AEW that show that.
You're right though. Yeah,
he used to be looking at the cameras and be like, okay, go to this angle, go to that angle.
Yeah, if that's him making that call, jeez, get somebody else in there, buddy. Get somebody else in there, because you may be thinking you got a good shot, but
too much on the plate for that guy, bro.
Neil.
Too much.
Cat for Life says Sabu and Sting will Sabu and Sting save the night.
Hopefully Sabu does not show up at all. We don't want Sabu in there. But Chris Jericho and Sting, hey man, make it happen. Make it happen. That was good.
And Jim Ross, by the way, is going injured tonight. He had a fall today, so he will be going in with a black eye. At least the picture I saw. So we'll see what happens.
So the commentators. We didn't talk about the commentators. Look who we got. We got Nigel McGuinness, my boy Nigel, who I think is gonna come and wrestle on that UK show a couple of months from now.
Brian Danielson did say something and kind of called him out or something. It was like, if he wants to fight me, he knows where or how to get something like that. So I think it's going toward that route.
That angle. You obviously JR is going to be there, and then Kevin Kelly, man. Kevin Kelly showing up. I haven't seen Kevin Kelly.
Only doing the main event. I am excited to see Kevin Kelly back in the seat a little bit. Going to be interesting because I guess he's going to end up doing more of the play-by-play with Nigel being the analyst, I'm guessing, and then of course JR will be there as well. So we'll see, man.
If Goldberg shows up, man, I will go insane. That will make my day. That would make my day.
If he shows up, I will tell you right now, desperation is set in.
It's not desperation. He's not there to like fight 20,000 fights. He's only there to fight maybe 1 or 2 because he wants to retire. You got to bring him. I mean, we were going to talk about who they have backstage, Chris Hero.
Yeah, but he's more for a backstage role, probably a producer. We'll see. That's what it's angling for.
I mean, two-time loves NXT. He used to be in NXT, and he was in WWE a couple times as well. So, wrestling genius.
He's one of those guys that he's got a very, very good wrestling mind, man. And you know, I think, look, they're doing it right with some of the creative things. I don't know how much veto power TK pulls over guys, or if he lets their. But I mean, you've got Bryan Danielson in the crew. You've got Sonjay Dutt. You've got Jerry Lynn. You've got Dean Malenko back there. You've got all these guys that are producers or now helping out with creative. You've got a lot of minds, man. And again, I don't know how TK, if he pulls like, I kind of like that, because listening to Bryan Danielson talk was like, sometimes you've got to talk him into almost some stuff where you got to talk him out of things.
You guys are telling me, I'm sorry, if you see me cheering like this because I'm reading the chat, and I see Ryback being mentioned in the chat. I see Goldberg
Dude,
being
come
mentioned
on,
in the
man,
chat.
dude.
I'm seeing Tool Time who loves NXT. Some way, somehow, I don't know how he doesn't like AEW when he says, hey, there's a lot of people from NXT now in AEW. I don't understand it.
Yeah, because that's when Vince went on the firing spree. They all went there.
And Chad, we're not getting desperate. We need to make big moves. And the only way you're going to make a big splash for a show on Saturday is by bringing a big name besides CM Punk.
That is desperation because, again, as you said, he's there for 2 or 3 shows.
Well, WWE doesn't want to give him his. WWE doesn't want to give him his last match. Why don't you let Goldberg come?
They're not going to pay him again for that, man.
Give the guy.
They paid him $3 million to crash into a pole and almost kill the Undertaker.
Well, I think they should bring him. I would love to see Ryback as well. I think Ryback is pushing a lot for it, but everybody he's even putting polls on Twitter saying, "Yo,
I'm changing to feed me more. It's feed no more. It's like going to the zoo.
So
he feed animals.
He went on Twitter. He went on Twitter. He put a poll saying, "Where do you want me to wrestle Goldberg? NXT, WWE, AEW, or I don't want to see the fight, and I don't want to see him fight one."
Thank you.
That was so funny. I was like, "No way, bro. No way."
Nobody wants to see it, bro. Like, I mean, people were calling for CM Punk to come back to wrestling. People wanted it.
Yeah.
And the reason it worked out so well was because the only place that it could work was going to be at the level of what AEW was. You couldn't have brought him back at Impact. You couldn't have brought him back in any of the AEW was the only place outside of WWE, which probably wasn't going to happen, that you could get CM Punk back into a position that would be worth paying him the money. And the reason I say Impact wouldn't because Impact pays him all that money. They're on a channel that half the country doesn't get. So you're giving this guy all this money to get what? You're never going to get that many eyes on your product anyway. Maybe pay-per-view wise, if you can make a deal with them to where, hey, every time we have a pay-per-view, you come in. But other than that, AEW is the only place that could make it happen. And Tony Khan made it happen.
I think
the problem is
you could say we're right back. You could say the same thing with Ryback.
Really? How many people outside the 12 people that watch his stuff tell him that they want him back?
Look how many followers.
Apparently you and your brother watch his YouTube channel because you're part of the crew.
Look at how many, and because he commented, he hit my like when I tagged him on Twitter. He was like, "Yes, I like it."
Eagle Ethan Page retweeted my Hathley Stokeway comment. So hey.
So now we have to be Ethan Page fans. We have to. You know who I sent a message out the other day? The reporter. What's his name? Damn it. That guy, this guy, Sean Ross. Sean Ross. Yeah. And I sent him a message directly. You know what's funny? He replied to me. I sent him a message. I said, "Yo, Ryback is liking my video that I sent. Hey, bring him back." And then you know what Sean wrote? Sean wrote, "Frank, it's Ryback."
Sean's know what is the deal. I was
like, "Oh,
Ryback, dude. It's Ryback, man."
I just put and said, "Okay, yeah, you're right."
You know what happened? What was it? 8:30 was last week's numbers. You know what happens if Ryback comes on? You know what
it'll go up to a 1.5.
Oh, it won't. It'll go to 827.
Hey, he has a lot of followers on Twitter, though.
Let's see, sir. So B McD says Ryback got shafted, though.
He has 1.2 followers on Twitter.
Shafted? Last time I saw Ryback, he was eating. How did he get shafted? How did Ryback get shafted?
I don't know, but he was having issues with his what was it? His name? Was it his name or his intro?
Yeah, I think he wanted to leave with it or something. And at first, they weren't going to give it to him or something.
But now he has it. So
it's one of those things. Tonight, views will hit 1 million. Look.
Yep, facts.
I mean, to be honest, if it was a Wednesday or a Thursday, I think it hits 1 million. I just don't know. I'd be happy for them if it hits 1 million on a Saturday because that's some work.
Everybody wants to see
There's nothing going on TV. But I go back to the whole thing. 8:00 on a Saturday night, who's sitting around going, "Hey, let me watch AEW Collision"? Just us 10 a.m. guys. Yes, us 10 a.m. guys. We are here.
Karen, Tool Time, Nick, B, A lot of us.
Everybody
Chad.
that's on the chat right now probably sitting there.
Right.
Hey, come on, Ryback. Come out, Ryback. And when Ryback doesn't show up, everybody's like, damn you, Tony Khan, you stole it from us.
I think they're gonna do really well, man. There's really not that much to do tonight, and I think people want to hear what CM Punk has to say, especially since this is his coming out. He's coming back from being.
I think the number's going to be closer to what Dynamite did. I think it'll be about an 830, 840. And the only reason I don't think it gets to the million is because of the time slot. I think if this is Wednesday at 8 o'clock, they're probably over 1 million with CM Punk coming in.
All right, so you're okay. So over and under here. So you're saying they're gonna not hit over 1 mil, and I say that they are.
My only issue is the time slot, man. I just don't think enough people are sitting there. Like, you know what'll probably happen? They might be at 1 million when CM Punk comes out to talk at the very beginning of the show.
That could happen, yeah.
And then you'll start seeing it drop to where it gets down to about 8, whatever. Because I think people are going to want to hear what he has to say.
But then it'll go back up once his fight comes up with FTR and stuff like that.
I don't know, man.
But it's Saturday, man. It's also...
You're talking about Saturday at 9:30 p.m. when CM Punk probably the main event time kicks in.
But you want to know something? It's also the first time we have wrestling on a Saturday that isn't like a pay-per-view or a live event. So it's good to see this because now you're going to get a taste if there's actually going to be fans. Because treat it like that. Treat it like if it was a pay-per-view on a Saturday. And their numbers are usually pretty good. When WWE does these shows on Saturdays, they're not bad. So that's the way I kind of look at it with AEW. I think they're looking at it as like, hey, this is kind of like a live event on a Saturday. Let's see what happens. And I think it might hit. Now, like you said, will it continue? That's the question. That's where I get nervous.
Your brother brought up some Fight Channel will help. I'm talking about the ratings on TV. Now, when you start adding all those other ones in, we have I'm telling you, they're probably over maybe there, but I just don't know.
I didn't even know there was a fight night. My brother's saying there's a fight night tonight. I think I didn't even know. I'm gonna be tuning into AEW, man.
I have ESPN Plus, and I still don't even like when they send me the things like, "Hey, tonight it's fight, dude." I'm like, whatever.
I watch, but when it's only like a good card, and the fight nights haven't been that good. I usually just watch the pay-per-views. But hey, man,
it's Vittori versus Carnier.
Yeah, I mean that's a decent fight, but not something I would pick AEW over that. But again, I think there's like we spoke about this. I think there's a separation between wrestling fans and mixed martial art fans. So I don't think it affects one or the other. Maybe down in the long run they'll combine them because I did WWE's thinking about it, and there's been a lot of MMA fighters.
Chad Gable said something very interesting on a podcast yesterday, where they're talking about possibly calling it Combat Sports Entertainment.
Wow.
The group called Combat Sports Entertainment. And he was like, if that is the case, I'm very intrigued to see what happens as far as that goes. And, again, we'll see. Because, again, some of those guys that are – I just don't know that their names there. Like, John Jones, of course. But who else could make the jump over to wrestling that you'd be
Well, Adesanya said he wanted to go. I think Adesanya would make a good hit.
Maybe, but I don't think there's anybody there that's a needle mover that you got to sit there and go, oh, yes, if he goes, I'm going to watch.
The problem is that right now UFC kind of doesn't have like those star fighters anymore. Yeah, like they lost Ronda Rousey.
What's funny is, though, I think the fights are better now. The fighters are better now, but there's not that antagonist, that guy that stands out. They're just there fighting, man. They just got a bunch of fighters now.
I mean, the best fights for me were back in the day and I'm not talking about really, really back in the day. I said when John Jones first came out, when it was Mauricio Shogun, when it was Lyoto Machida, those guys I really watched. Rashard Evans, those guys were the ones that I really watched. Now you don't have that right now. You have a lot of guys that are like kind of like a couple nobodies that you kind of just starting to get to know. Actually. Damn, I forgot. I think yesterday was the Bellator fight because there was a really good Bellator fight happening. I think it was yesterday.
Yeah,
so
Patricio Pitbull lost.
Oh, he did against Pettis, right?
Damn,
man. And then Romero was fighting as well.
Yeah, I didn't see that one. I didn't see the end of
that.
That was a PFL card. right? Or was that on?
It
That
was
was
Bellator. It was
Okay.
Bellator. But man, that was a really good one. See, Iceman, yes, Chuck Liddell. Those fights were free. Those guys were superstars. Those guys would have been able to make it to WWE,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
See, the thing is, two at a time. I don't know that Dan Lambert comes back right now because I don't know what his situation is.
He's CCW.
Well, no, with Championship Wrestling from Florida. I believe he's part of the money in that there. So I believe that's what he's going to be working on rather than.
My question is, why did he leave AEW? Like, why is he not involved? He was a good heel.
He wanted more. I think he wanted more money or more input, and then also I think the time the whole thing ran out though. You know, I think the whole thing was set up to get that was his name, our guy, 305. Masvidal was supposed to be the guy at the pay-per-view, and it didn't work out. And then Paige Van Zant went to get trained, but then found out she could make more in OnlyFans and never came back. That's what happens. That is what happened. Let's see. Oh, DJ Mimo says Frankie didn't watch the Bellator match because it gives bad flashbacks when I whoop him on UFC.
So for you guys in the chat, me and Memo. Remember, there was a show that I actually posted my gamer tag on the show, and Memo is actually one of the ones who actually did add me, and we actually play the UFC fights. And yes, he has beaten me more than I have beaten him. But keep in mind, I have been sick. I was sick the day that I fought on the UFC game. So
you were fighting sick.
Okay. I was fighting sick. It was messing up with the controller, and I was coughing and sneezing. So that affects me, man. That affects me. Yeah. But overall, I'm still not that bad considering that I never played that game. I've recently bought it, but don't buy the WWE game. Memo knows why. So guys, the WWE game, I mentioned it before. Their online sucks. It's terrible. They don't let. Like, it has a glitch, and I read online. I thought they had fixed it this year, but apparently they've been having this issue since 2K20. So you can't play online, man. You can't play. So the AEW game, I hope, hey man, get it right, because I will be buying that game. Hopefully they get it right.
And in the words of DJ Mimo, excuses.
No excuses for tonight's show, though. It's gonna be a banger tonight. Banger tonight.
Right, so let's get everybody on the chat right now. Let's see if we can get it. This is probably the most obvious thing in the world. Who wins the main event match tonight? Is it CMFTR or is it Joe Robinson White?
I say my boy CM Punk is gonna win with FTR, but it's not gonna be. They win, and then everybody's gonna jump in to try to like hurt them and stuff. So I'll see other people coming in and trying to like hurt them after they won the fight. I think that's what they're gonna do. They typically do that. They did that on Wednesday with Kenny Omega and this guy coming in. So
that's the other thing I wanted to talk to you about. Why does TK get the whole thing about we've got to have surprise after surprise after surprise?
Yeah, he kind of went overboard on Wednesday.
Adam Cole's music hits, and he comes out, and everybody's like, "Oh, it's going to be Adam Cole against the Elite." Then he hugs the Elite. Everybody's like, "Oh, we've been shafted." And then what happened? Bryan Danielson's music hits. And it's like, bomb. So then this week it's, here comes, oh my goodness,
Takeshka.
No, Takeshka was second, right? Or was it Takeshka first? Then, oh my God, why am I drawing this blank? Your buddy, your favorite guy.
My favorite guy.
The loudmouth guy that always talks his mind, and
I don't know. I'm having
Guevara, and then
Sammy didn't come. Darby Allin, MJF.
No, not Kenta. Not Kenta.
Who are you talking about? I thought Takeshka came out first. He wasn't the one who came out first. It was somebody else.
Did Takeshka come out first, and then
I thought Takeshka came out first, and then Kenny Omega was fighting him, and then that's when this guy came out from New Japan Wrestling. Was it that, or am I missing somebody? Maybe
before
it was
that.
somebody.
Yes, you missed the whole thing by freaking came running down. Oh my God! Why am I drawing this blank? Help me out, crew. Not Don Callis. Not Don.
The Bloodline. I'm sorry. Moxley and them.
Yeah, Moxley didn't hit him. Moxley's the only one that didn't hit the guy that I'm trying to talk about, and I cannot draw. Why am I drawing a blank?
Was he?
It's just pissing me off now.
Wait. You're talking about okay. This was on Wednesday.
Yes.
I'm trying to remember. So who came out? Let me go on Twitter and see if they have the replay on this because I don't remember. I remember Takeshka for sure, and then I remember Osprey coming out, but I don't remember. There was somebody else who came out, but I don't remember. I don't remember having a blank as well, just like you. And it wasn't. It wasn't. Let's see. Do you see anything online? Do you guys remember?
Nobody's helped me out here at all. If I see the name, when I see the name, I'm gonna know.
Who are you talking about? Actually, there was a really good fight on Rampage when Audrey the referee was actually fighting. That was pretty cool. That was interesting.
It was an interesting fight. I wouldn't say it was a good match.
It wasn't. You could tell their wrestling wasn't the greatest, but they did. She was fighting there. I'm a big Taya Valkyrie fan too, and she was out there on Friday as well. So it was fun for Rampage. Damn, I'm trying to think who else came out.
Am I having?
We're not. Who are you talking about? You said that he's one of my favorites, right?
We talked about him because on the show, that show at night, he and Sammy Guevara got into it.
Chris Jericho got into it with Sammy. Darby was there. Wasn't Jungle Boy, wasn't Hook. That was afterwards. Oh, Eddie Kingston.
There it is, Eddie Kingston.
That's who came out.
That's
now you're right about
he was
that.
First.
You're right.
Because him and Moxley stood face to face, and then Takeshita came and hit Kingston from behind.
Yes.
And then it led into...
Because Eddie hit Claudio. And remember, they have that beef from Ring of Honor. That's why. Yes,
he came right out after Claudio. Yes.
You're absolutely right. That is the Eddie King. Now, Nick, you finally say it? Come on, man.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate the help there, chat.
A little bit. That goes to show you how many of us tuned into AEW Dynamite.
Yeah, I mean, nobody could help me out of there either. All right, so let's see.
And he is not one of my favorites. I actually didn't like it. I'm not a big fan of Eddie Kingston.
Well, no, I meant because we were talking about how he was a loudmouth and things like that. Not your favorite. I mean, as far as.
But I give him a pass because he was wrestling injured. So that Claudio versus Eddie Kingston back in Ring of Honor, I'll give him a pass.
Two at time says, "Damn it, AEW is so forgettable."
We're not forgetting tonight's show though.
No, tonight should be good, and we'll probably go for another 10 minutes. Give you guys time to get tuned over to that TNT channel.
Tune in, guys. Tune in.
I want to talk a little bit about. I guess we could talk a little bit about the kicks heard around the world, the fracture in the bloodline, the Civil War. Now it's being called the Civil War of the Bloodline. The Usos will take on Solo Sikoa and Roman Reigns at Money in the Bank.
Yeah, they announced it, man.
Yeah,
they announced it. I kind of knew that. Yeah. I kind of knew that he was gonna pick his brother.
I liked it, man. I liked. The funny thing is, because I recorded it and I was gonna watch it, so I'd seen clips of it, and everything had him up to the part where he says, where he tells his brother, you're out, and then he goes, so am I. So I didn't see any of the part leading up to that. So when I saw it, I was like, man, dude, that was some good stuff, man, there by Jay, as far as him going about and being like, you didn't believe in me, this and that. It was like, he kept you a little bit intrigued for a minute, like, oh man, he's going to go, he might stay with the bloodline. But I think everybody that understands kind of the story of where everything's going is, to me now, especially when Roman said, Heyman is mine. Heyman is my wise man. Sorry, he said my wise man. You get to pick your wise man when you're in. To me, that felt like Roman saying, I'm picking him over blood. Like when you're looking at it there, and then I think that's where Jay was like.
The thing is that they were kind of like showcasing it, saying that, yeah, he's gonna pick the bloodline. He's gonna pick the bloodline the whole time. I wonder if in the next episode, in the next show, in the next SmackDown, he'll go and say why he chose his brother instead of Roman Reigns and the Bloodline originally, because he didn't say it. He just said, "Hey, I don't you're not part of the Bloodline anymore, and neither am I." And then he did the super kick on him, but he
Yeah,
didn't
I
specify
think it's
why.
going to go back to where Roman picked Heyman over Blood. Because he told Jay it's either him or Jay told him it's he goes or I go. And then he went in the whole thing like, hey, Wiseman's not going nowhere. He's mine. He's not the bloodline. He's mine. And that goes back to the whole thing of where Roman, manipulating everything to fit into his, I think more into his thing. And you're going to see that kind of be the whole story. And then I thought I retweeted out where Solo Sikoa sent out and he's got the X on everybody. And it's only him doing the We the One sign. I'm like, he's the only one left. Now it's Solo. That's it.
Well, the crazy thing is, hey man, mad props to how that Bloodline storyline has gone. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
I don't think it's over yet, man. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Far from it. I think it's still far from it, man. They still could go different angles all the way with this. So it's you still can either make Jay come back to the Bloodline. You could actually also have Solo eventually leave the Bloodline. So there's a lot of angles they could
I wonder
bring
if they
another.
work in somehow to where like if the Usos lose, they have to come back to the bloodline.
Or they could bring one of the.
Now they're calling it the Civil War. Like when there's a war, something's got to be won. To me, I mean, when you war with somebody, there's a win. Somebody's going to win.
Or they bring somebody else from their family into the bloodline now and say, okay, well now you know what, we're replacing you with another family member.
Yeah, I mean there's enough there that again, you can bring up somebody. His brother's training or Roman's brother. Who is it?
I know there's a big tree of them. So
it's Rikishi's son. Oh, not Rikishi's son. I'm sorry, Yokozuna's son, I believe.
Okay.
Or no, is it? No, not Rikishi's son because that'd be the Usos.
I mean, if you figure it out,
I think it's Yokozuna's son is training with Booker T right now.
I mean, if you figure it out, my props to you because there's a crazy amount of them all around.
And then you got like Jacob Fatu and all these guys, Lance Anoa'i, all these guys that are already there that could come in for one-offs, get a good payday and be in and out. Especially like Jacob Fatu to me, dude. I don't know why he's not signed unless he just doesn't want to be signed, kind of like what Britt Baker did, where she was like, look, I make more money doing my thing and then just doing what I'm doing. I'm not going to go and take a pay cut to just say I worked for WWE.
I do want to say one thing. I know we're talking about the Bloodline and what happened on Friday, but I do want to go ahead and be the first one to announce it here in the show. I want Seth Rollins to beat Braun Breaker. I'm actually going to tune into NXT. And if there's one person that deserves to go to NXT and become NXT champion, you know who it is. It's my boy, Dominic Mysterio, taking over NXT and wins the NXT belt. I'm going to call it. They should go that route. Do it. Make him go to NXT for a minute, beat Carmelo Hayes.
He doesn't need it.
NXT. Dude.
He does not need it.
Can you imagine the hate that he's going to get in NXT as well? Bro, you're trying to blow up NXT?
Hate? He can't even talk on a microphone.
You bring him to NXT and you
let me
win that belt, baby.
Do you know Dominic what the dark match was last night? After the Roman Reigns stuff?
Check this out.
You know hold on. Do you know what the dark match was after Roman Reigns and them left the ring? Do you know what the match was that came on right after that?
No, what was it?
Shinsuke Nakamura versus Condom.
Okay.
Condom come out to talk, and they wouldn't let him talk. He doesn't have a belt.
You bring him to NXT. You win that belt. Now you have Rhea Ripley with a belt, Dom with a belt, and
dude,
then
everybody doesn't need a belt, man. That's how you think a pro wrestler is, like certificates. You gotta have a belt. You gotta have a belt.
And then you have either Damian Priest or Finn Balor, one of them, start making that move eventually to make sure that group becomes the ones running the whole show.
Fractured. You don't see what WWE's doing? Bloodline was the start.
Oh, absolutely.
Bloodline was the start of the factions being destroyed.
That was going to continue.
Now you got Damage Control. They're probably fracturing next week. Judgment Day will be fracturing soon as well. Because to me, right now, looking at the men's, and there's talk that the last person is going to be Drew McIntyre if he comes back, supposedly.
Is he coming back?
Again, half of what I hear, half of what I see, and nothing of what I hear.
They need to let him go, and you know where he needs to show up.
He's doing events he was at the Special Olympics thing that they did the other day.
Get out of WWE. Come to the big show. Come to the dark side, baby. Come to the dark side. That's what we need.
Dude, you guys put too much emphasis on belts, man. You guys put too much emphasis on belts.
We don't put emphasis on belts. We put emphasis on making it happen, and a champion deserves it if he's earned it, and that's exactly what Dom has done. He's earning it little by little. And you know what? I said I hope they don't screw it over when they put him against Cody Rhodes. I said, hey, now it makes sense. They put him against Cody. What's gonna happen, man? I think they should push him to NXT for a split second and get that belt from NXT. You want to pop NXT? You want to make NXT relevant? I promise you, give Dominic the belt, and he will make NXT. I'll definitely watch NXT if Dom is there, bro, all day. That would be amazing. That would be the best thing. He's qualified enough to get that. He has the NXT, and people are gonna be like, "What the hell is going on here?" And people will tune in, man. I'm telling you, people will tune in. I'm telling you now, WWE, listen to me. Even though this is an AEW preview show, put Dom the NXT belt. Forget about Carmelo, man. He sucks. I don't like him. Dom.
Are you fucking serious?
Dom. Give it to Dom, man.
You're serious.
Dom. I don't like Carmelo, man. He's always repping the Laker colors. I'm not a Laker fan. I'm a Miami Heat fan. Screw the Lakers. Get him out of here. I'm not a LeBron fan. He sold us out, man. Sold us out. Get him out of here. We ain't the Lakers, man. We're the Heat. Now, yeah, Heat colors would be a different story, but he's repping that Lakers colors. Forget about that guy. It's all about Dom. Make it happen. And if WWE doesn't know what to do with Drew McIntyre, send him over to AEW. We'll make it happen, bro. Collision. CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre. Woo! We would watch that. CM Punk.
Don't know that you're going to like that show there.
Drew McIntyre versus Goldberg.
Let me ask something too. Why does TK, like, when you see him, he's always shaking his head around and this and that, but then when he's talking on a microphone, he's like, I am the Rock. He doesn't move. He's like, back to you guys.
It's the drugs.
What is he, pop 3 and like?
I really feel like, I mean, no offense, TK, but man, I think there's something. I think he takes drugs, does something.
Thank you, guys. The special announcement.
Oh man,
for Rampage is I will have a special announcement. Back to you guys.
Sean, I'm excited. I can't wait.
We are 4 minutes away.
Miro.
Yes, he doesn't blink either.
Miro versus CM Punk in the future. That sounds like a good Andrade El Idolo. Finally bringing back that, Andrade El Idolo makes big.
You got to think there's got to be one surprise, right? There's got to be one surprise on this show tonight.
Goldberg, bro. Goldberg.
I'll tell you now, if it's Goldberg, I will go live right after the show. If Goldberg shows up, I will go live right after the show and let you know there's no more Squared Circle Digest. It's done. It is now the Frankie Fresco show.
Wait.
And he'll be on every Tuesday to talk to you.
You're saying we would change the Squared Circle Digest to AEW Squared Circle Digest? Is that what's happening?
It won't even be AEW Squared Circle Digest. It'll just be AEW Fresco.
Full-time AEW? Absolutely. Goldberg, bring him back, baby. You want the number. It ain't going to happen, but still, bring him. There has to be a guest. I wonder, like I said, Chris Hero. I think he's going to show up. He's going to be.
Yeah, but I mean, it's got to be a splash, though. It's got to be a splash.
Yeah, he's not a splash. But who's out there?
Well, that's what I'm trying to think. Like,
you could bring Mercedes Moné a little bit,
but she's not under a deal.
You could bring Mercedes Moné, but you can't wrestle her.
Who?
You could bring Mercedes Moné and do like a cameo.
I mean, you could do that. Two at time said me and him could start an NXT show.
0 ratings.
I'll tell you this now. If AEW brings in Goldberg, I will not talk AEW anymore. As soon as we go to the AEW segment, Fresco will be on by himself.
The numbers don't lie, baby. The AEW keeps going up and up in the chat. Everybody's talking AEW. Look at that.
It's because it's an AEW preview show.
Before we would never even do an AEW preview show at all. Now we are.
We're
Look at
doing
that.
this one because it's the first one, and CM Punk, and it's like I'm almost watching this just because I want to see the first 5 minutes of the show when CM Punk comes out. Does he obliterate everybody and just say screw it? I'm about to go into business for myself to see how much money I can get, and I'm going to drop it all on the Elite. And then does it turn into more of an angle? Because ultimately, I think everything is silent right now because they want to make sure Punk's going to come back. Once Punk's back, then do they start going with it? Because to me, you put Elite with Punk, and now you've got some feeling. You got emotions because you got your Punk, the people that love Punk, and your people that love the Elite. So that's where it's got to go.
You do not turn off AEW tonight.
DJ Mimo, you need to give it more than 5 minutes because Punk will probably talk the first 10.
Yeah,
Wait till the first match.
Oh,
give it the first match.
FYI, I did buy a CM Punk shirt, so I will be wearing. I'll be wearing a CM Punk shirt as soon as it comes in. I also bought a CM Punk like toy. So once those come in, guys, I will bring. I'm 100 or actually.
Did you at least get the chain one, the bloody one? Did you get the bloody one?
No, that one. No. They have that the other one that I got is kind of like I guess it's like a pillow. I don't know what it is. It's like a special edition.
You bought a CM Punk pillow?
It's a special edition.
What are you gonna be like cuddled up to it? Like, oh, CM Punk.
It's a special.
Phil, I love you, Phil. I love you, man.
It's a special edition. It's a Chicago edition, and you have it, and it's not supposed to come in a couple of weeks away or months away. So, but I'll bring it. I'll show it. You guys will see it. I'm excited. You guys, we gotta support Punk, baby. Punk is back.
AEW.
What's wrong with having a pillow of CM Punk, man? He's the best alive. He's the best in the world. Yes, sir. You ready, guys?
People,
we gotta go.
We got to go. Make sure you follow me, Sean_Stanley11, Fresco Music on Instagram. And he's, what are you at on Twitter?
Fresco Music as well. I just put
Fresco Music. The Avenger credits are rolling, people. The Avenger credits are rolling. That means one thing. In the words of the great Gordon Soley, AEW Collision starting next. Squared Circle Digest. So long from the sun. Shine. Stay.